this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
Here we go.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
Max 50. Crunch time, defense.
On 2nd down now. It's Peterson, and he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 2 yards, good enough for a first. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Rosen. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Rosen. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Rosen looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. Here's Matt Hawk now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Switzer on the return.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you run into big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10.
230.
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Jerome Baker. What a play by him. That's going to go as a loss of 13.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. After the sack on 1st down, Roethlisberger. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Let's go.
From midfield now, here's Roethlisberger. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Cordray Tankersley with a pick. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Devontae Parker, the intended receiver, and that'll make it third down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. And now the third down throw incomplete as well. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10. On the run is Conner. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
This is Samuels. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
They'll try and run for it with Conner. And shutting him off, now open field. The 20, 10, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. James Conner, his second touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Boswell good with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. Here's a quick hitch route and the throw complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there and a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Under a heavy rush and down he goes.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Flushed out right. This taken in by Jakeem Grant. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Milage. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Rosen looking to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The Dolphins on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 15. Looking and finding Allen Hurns. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Matt Hawk now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You've got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try to add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try to extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Watch the screen. Alert, alert. You got tight. You got tight right there.
X3, 218, chopper.
Right back to Connor here on 1st. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
That one good for 26 and a first down. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 41. On 1st and 10 is Connor. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Check, take 2 of them. Check 13.
From the 38, Roethlisberger looking for Moncrief, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Rosen will throw. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Now Balaj. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Rosen. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Rosen. Eluding the pressure right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Ryan Shazier able to record his 5th sack of the season.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
And now off to the races, down the right side, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. What a run that was. 88 yards on the punt return. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
You ain't doing nothing.
They run it with Balaj. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. There to stop him, Terrell Edmonds. Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and rake it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Ryan Shazier in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Here's Matt Hawk now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here's Switzer. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
66.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Able to hit his tight end, Grimble. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Back now in Pittsburgh. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. They'll run on first down. It's Connor, and he's across midfield and into Miami territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Now a leaping catch. He's got it. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on third.
I can't believe they let you play.
On third down, it's Connor. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard. And this one is no good. He missed it, and this score will stay right where it is.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
Monday.
Rosen on first and 10. He's going to loft one. Deep left side. He's got it at the 15. It's a big play there for Miami. 47 yards. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on first and 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. Josh Rosen, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to draw a bit closer. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
I got you.
They start the drive with Connor. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. A loss of 8 that time, and it brings up third down. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Here's Roethlisberger. He's got his man on the crossing route. It'll be a pickup of 13 on the play, and that'll make it third down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On third down, Connor. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up first and 10. Roethlisberger going to throw it. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays. They'll go with Snell here on first down. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. So they come up on second down, and they can get another run like we just saw. Would likely put an end to this thing. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
And intercepted, maybe the turning point they need. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the return will stop them well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line. Two-score game here in the fourth, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a two-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it trying to drain some clock.
Pressure comes, and down goes Rosen. Bud Dupree in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. One final shot here for Rosen. Rolling to his right. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by the rookie first-rounder from Michigan, Devin Bush. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six for a Steeler touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shut.
S-T-R-O. Yeah. How many of y'all came to win? Oh, they asking my name, huh? Ready? S-T-R-O. I ain't come to play with you. Life challenging, but I wouldn't trade with you. It's early, I'm up. I can't spend the day with you. I'm out of my business. I ain't getting paid with you. My color bright. I ain't finna fade with you. Man, I gotta come clean like I made with you. I been on my everybody drop when I drop. This shorty, she support ride. Lifting up. Never not on my grind. New York City time. Another brother better, you will never find. I've been in my bag like groceries. Competition shouldn't take shots, take